Sue, I want to ask you whether everything just kind of went along without any, hiccups, or were there anything? Did anything untoward happen in the cancer journey?
Yes, I started to become aware that I was banging my head. I'd be cleaning the bath and the shower screen that's always been there, I'd start hitting my head on it. If I opened a cupboard door, I'd hit my head on the cupboard door. And all sorts of little things like that, I'd be banging my head. I didn't appear to be judging distance properly. So the next time I saw my oncologist, because I was still seeing her monthly, I think it was, perhaps even more frequent than that, and I mentioned to her that was happening, and she said they'd get me in straight away for a CT scan. And the CT scan showed up that there was something in my head. I then went on to have an MRI scan, and that has shown that, as they see it at the moment, it isn't secondary, it isn't cancerous, it's just benign, and for now they're monitoring it to see if it grows, if it continues to grow, if it stops, or what happens with it.
So you had a period then when you had these worrying symptoms. The CT scan seemed to show a further concern, which could have been an advanced progression of the cancer, a metastasis they call it, don't they?
Yes.
But then later on, you received on the MRI more information that showed it wasn't a secondary spread.
Yes.
It was actually an independent condition.
Yes.
I think you told me earlier, a meningioma potentially.
That's it.
So my question for you then is, going through that very difficult kind of ups and downs, what was it like during that period where things were very uncertain and you thought that things were progressing suddenly quite fast?
It was horrible. It was absolutely awful. But I just had to take control of the situation and think, right, what do we do now? We have our post-it notes on the cupboard doors in the kitchen, which is our bucket list of things we want to do. And the things we want to do aren't big things like having to go and see the pyramids or anything like that. It's like having an ice cream day where we eat ice cream all day and nothing else. So our bucket list are just things that make us laugh. Having a barbecue where we all have to wear silly hats and things like that. So although it was horrible, it was an awful time, and when I was on my own I'd dwell on it. Most of my time I tried to make every day special, and we did things on the days that were fun. We did pottery, we threw pots, my girls and my friend went with us. We did as many things as we could so that we just had fun times. So it just took our minds off that if there was only a short period of time, we would have enjoyed it as much as we possibly could. There'd be no way that we'd look back and say, we wasted that just sitting and moping about it. We just got on and did things.
So already within a short space of time of having potentially further bad news, as they call it, more serious, more progressive disease, you had almost come to terms with it? Is that a fair way of putting it? In other words, you decided to approach it in a way that you approach a lot of things, which is to take control, to be more in charge, to still appreciate life, to maximise what you're doing rather than necessarily give up.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's dealing with it, it's taking charge of it. It's not my thing that I always say with pain or anything that's going off, it's a steamroller behind me. And if I stop, that steamroller is going to go over me. And there's no way I'm going to let the steamroller get me. So by doing and arranging fun and exciting things, crazy things that we do, it stops the steamroller because it can't catch up with me, and it doesn't know what I'm up to all the time either. So
that's a good way of putting it.
So we do some crazy things. It's like with our camping. We have our inflatable settees and everything. So everybody laughs at us that it's not proper camping. And we moved on from the inflatable settees that now we have to take an inflatable animal and they hang from the gazebo. So we're always doing very simple but things that make everybody laugh.